welcome back to the Pure Report on the Road. I'm Sam Marasini at Microsoft Ignite 2019 in the Pure Storage Modern Data Experience booth, and I'm with Robert Quimley. Q, Robert, what's up?
Hey, we're here showing off all the new things that we're launching.
And there is so much new. I wanted to get to one of our demo stations because I wanted to show you guys kind of what's happening because, Robert, you've been running through demos all day with customers here.
Definitely.
So from that point of view, tell me, give me high level what it is, the biggest demo, the most exciting that you have here, and then we'll run through it.
Well, we've got a lot of demos. So one of the really neat ones is, what if you have a SQL workload that's running on premises, and you take that SQL workload and you replicate it into a Pure Array in Azure, and update your test and dev VMs in Azure in seconds.
So what you're doing is really talking about a couple of things that we announced here, right?
Yes.
Because you're talking Cloud Block Store in Azure, and you're also talking SQL Snapshot integration.
Yes.
So let's see what you have, because there's nothing better than being able to take those announcements, combine them into a solution and a way for customers to really use this technology, because this is real. I have a test workload sitting in Azure, and I need to refresh it with current data. How do we do it?
Definitely. So first what you're going to do is you're going to connect the arrays. You have an array, Cloud Block Store in Azure. You have an array on premises.
Sure.
Once they're connected, it's going to have a replication schedule. And so you'll say you take a snapshot every 15 minutes. Every 15 minutes you have new data in the cloud. How often does that test and dev need to be refreshed? Every 15 minutes, once a day, whatever, you're going to have a schedule. And then once you do that, you're good to go. And then it's just a simple script or a couple of clicks in the GUI and you're restored, and your dev and test environment is now up to date with what was on premises in production.
So let's take a look at that clicking through,
Yep.
but I think it's important to note too that this is easily scripted and this happens instantaneously.
Right. Unfortunately, all my demos are GUI and slow, so you can see what's happening. Everything that's done, that's automation, kind of DevOps, it's as code, it's nearly instantaneous. All the operations on the flash array are microseconds, right?
Yeah, and let's be honest, it's slow for people like me so that I can keep up. So let's take a look at what you got here.
Awesome. So what we've got is we've got a database in production on premises, and we're going to change some data on it. So what we do is we create a new table, and by creating this new table, we can now see that, hey, we have a table 5. So let me do that. Then we'll refresh. We'll see that we have a new table here in production, which could be, gigabytes of data, etc. Then what I'm going to do is I've switched over, and I'm taking the database that is in Azure offline. This is in my test and dev environment. Then I'm going to take the disk offline, and by doing that, I'm ready to overwrite the LUN that is in the Azure VM. So here I'm taking the most recent snapshot, and I'm deciding where am I going to overwrite in the LUN that lives in Azure with my SQL database. Well, that's my past SQL data. We'll overwrite it, we'll click copy. That takes microseconds. Once that's done, we'll online the disk, we'll online the database, we'll refresh it, and you'll see that this content, boom, we're going to online this disk. Now that disk is online. Here, we go in and we task bringing this test database in test and dev online. Now that it's online, what we're going to do is we're going to refresh the view there, and then you'll see that table 5 that we created on premises a few seconds ago exists now here in Azure.
In Azure, you're inside of the the SQL Server Management Studio
Yes.
and disk management. That's all you were in.
Definitely. Exactly.
So only 2 tools, those are integrated, but best script this thing, and you're getting fresh data in your test instance that sits in Azure.
Yes, and this is like a second script, 1 second.
And what's even more beautiful than that, this is refreshing SQL databases. You could also do things like DR or replicate out there. It's the possibilities are unlimited. This is great.
Right, and it is bi-directional, right? You can pick to go in any direction. Maybe you're running in production in the cloud and you want test and dev on premises, right? So you could do all sorts of different things. Maybe you want to have this running in Azure, but you need to get it into AWS, right? So multi-cloud.
Multi-cloud as well. Where can somebody learn more information or see the demo that you just ran through? Is there?
You bet. So we have all this stuff on our Microsoft platform guide, which is support.purestorage.com/solutions, and then click Microsoft.
Awesome. Thanks, Q.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your time.
Appreciate it.
Thank you guys for watching the Pure Report on the road. We'll see you next time with more from Ignite 2019 in Orlando, Florida.